down their throats. If you incorporate it into like a way that's relevant for them, it just, to me, I certainly don't want to be sold to. The minute I feel like somebody's selling to me, I'm out. I tune completely out. So when you are your own brand, when you are, say, for example, you're a health coach and you have a program that you're selling, but ultimately you don't want to sell it. What would you say to that person? How do you put that across without actually selling it as a brand?
I would say use Instagram stories, use IGTV, bring in some of your friends, have your friends be in the frame with you, be talking with them about some of the stuff that you do, some of the tips, and having people share their own experiences and how they've been blessed by your expertise. What have you shown other people? When you can get other people rally behind whatever you're trying to do, it resonates so much deeper.
Testimonial.
You can think about, for instance, if you're searching for a product on Amazon, you're not so much looking at the product details as you are looking at the reviews by how people have been impacted by this certain product.
Totally.
I think it works in the same way for other things too.
Yeah.
So anytime you can bring anyone else into the picture and kind of, get your friends rally behind it, or some of your favorite clients rally behind it, then that's a really good way to sell whatever you're selling.
I love that. And it's so important. My goodness. I mean, we all, we live and die by reviews these days.
Yeah, it's
and
so
you
true.
want to know that somebody else has benefited. I had a situation yesterday, actually. I was out with some friends, and they, they're new friends, people that I have not been around for a very long time, but they had a dinner party and they made a bunch of recipes from the book. And they were telling me all about it in detail and like unsolicited, just like, we made 5 different recipes and, everybody took one and made it, and we all had this little dinner party, and it was so fun, and they were so easy. And I was like,
that would be the perfect thing to put on Instagram stories.
That's what I was like, could you please write, like, send pictures, write it up, post something, because that means everything.
And people are more than happy to share something that's positively impacted them, more than happy to do it. So it's a win-win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. So I think, when all is said and done, you are a brand, call it like you're helping people to develop the brand and develop their story and make it so that it's relevant. What do you do to take care of yourself? Because that's a lot of you that's out there that's helping other people. And I think that takes a lot of energy. What is a normal day of self-care, or, feeding yourself the right way look like so that you have that energy to give to others?
I think you are right in that I do. I'm working with a lot of clients, and my clients' wins are my wins. My clients' failures are my failures. I mean, we're hoping that there's going to be no failures, but you know what I mean? I mean, I feel everything very deeply for them because we're working so intimately. And so prioritizing self-care is very important to me. I definitely make time for yoga or Pilates or taking a nice walk. I would say once a day, at least getting some form of exercise I'm pretty good about. Mm-hmm. And I think the one thing that has been so critical to me during this whole season of entrepreneurship is setting aside time for a meal. And what I mean by that is really taking myself out to lunch or taking myself out to dinner, but not in a restaurant, just in my own home. And so I really prioritize setting the table and pouring a glass of water and cutting a slice of lemon and making the presentation feel really nice, because it's just a way that I am honoring myself and taking myself out and showing myself that I love myself. And so, the meal doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be this super, crazy thing. It's just very simple. But I think prioritizing that 30 to 45 minutes and, just taking myself out to lunch is the best thing that I've been able to do for myself. And it's really gotten me through some of the harder parts of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I think, always, and that's something that's been so important to me in my message is, this is not about a diet. This isn't about deprivation. This is about abundance and getting in tune with what it means to actually put your hands in food and take the time to prepare it and make it look beautiful and enjoy it. And you become so much more than an eater at that point. You become, you're an alchemist. You are a kitchen magician.
I love the term alchemist. I love that.
It's magic, right? We're the only living beings that have the ability to do that. So what's a favorite meal or something that you love to make and enjoy maybe by yourself or with others?
I have been really into, I'm sorry, this isn't a meal because I'm going to be very honest with all of your listeners. I'm kind of a lazy cook.
It's all right.
But you know what? I really enjoy putting together a nice smoothie or a shake. And so lately what I've been doing is adding some spinach and avocado and some cacao, or is that how I say it?
Cacao?
Yeah, cacao.
Yep.
And just adding some almond milk and making this really healthful, bountiful smoothie really gets me started on such a great note and gets my day going.
Well, that's a meal. I mean, all of the things that you just mentioned in a glass is a total meal. And
perfect.
and it's nourishing and it's giving you the energy and the stamina to be able to kickstart your day and get through. And I think it's, and for everybody listening, there's not one habit that works across the board. I think it's very unique and specific to you. But I think the bottom line is, do you feel energetic and joyful after you do that?
Yes. And I think, I used to not prioritize a healthy meal, and I cannot believe what a difference it made in my productivity, in my energy levels, just with my whole mood. And so when I started prioritizing that 1 hour a day, sitting down for a meal and making myself something really bountiful, I cannot believe the impact it made on my work and how much better of an entrepreneur I became because I prioritized a healthy meal.
That's so great. That makes me really happy because I think also, people get into this mindset that it's very time consuming and cumbersome and difficult, but the return on a simple investment of time, and it's not a significant amount of time when you look at all the hours in the day of what it can do is really priceless. You can't even put a number on it.
Totally. It's invaluable. And I think for a long time, I was one of those people that thought, this is just going to take too much time. I don't even know how to cook. I'm not sure what to do in the kitchen, but it can be something so simple, like my smoothie, for example. It doesn't have to be something that's super intricate and hard to put together. And I think, when I was looking through your cookbook after I purchased it at at the San Francisco Ferry Building.
Which thank you very much for being a customer.
I had to support. There's a lot of great recipes in there that I know that I can just do very quickly, and I'll be so much happier after I've done it. I'll feel so much better and so much more fulfilled when I take the time to make a good meal like that.
Well, and I thank you for that. And I think, ultimately when you are your brand or you are mentoring people to develop their brand, how you come across, your energy, let's just face it, your appearance, how you feel in your skin is going to resonate that much more. And, it is very personal. And I think, when I look back, I know there was a time where I really beat myself up around food and didn't really understand what that meant. And I know that I wasn't showing my best face, whatever that, I'm not talking about physical. I mean, how I felt in my skin, even though it was, I look back 15 years ago, I didn't feel the same way as I do now. I feel much better now. So I want to encourage people, it's never too early or late to start. And you are everything, it's your house, it's your it's your future, and what you put out there is what you end up getting back in return.
Absolutely. I mean, I help people look good online and put their best foot forward online. That's a big part of my job. But also there's a big element to personal branding offline and how you present yourself offline. And I think so much of that has to do with diet and really just taking the time to really feed yourself all that is good and healthy.
What does that mean, offline?
Yeah. So for instance, someone's personal brand you might really be able to notice someone's personal brand, for instance, at like a networking event. What are they wearing? What are their business cards look like? How are they speaking? And all of those things help to contribute to people's perception of us. And so there are so many touch points of communication that influence how people perceive us. And a lot of those are now online, which is kind of where I come into play. But a lot of it also happens offline. So a lot to consider in that regard too.
Well, and I think that's so critical, because how you present yourself, you may see somebody and then meet them in person and be like, oh, that was like a lackluster experience. And that's going to leave a bad taste in your mouth. I met Marcus Samuelson, famous chef, and, just has an extraordinary person and humanitarian. And I met him in person and I was just like, I like him so much more now, because he was so
and that's what we want, right?
Yeah.
We want people to get a taste of who we are online and want to meet us so bad that they do and are just blown away. And they have a killer, amazing first impression of us. That is the goal.
I love it. So I'm going to definitely make sure everybody knows how to find you, so that they can come to you if they're in pursuit of developing their own brand. Maybe they have a product that they want to put out there, or themselves as a product or a service. But what's the best way that they can reach you?
So I make myself very available through Instagram. That's probably the platform I'm most active on. I'm also really active on LinkedIn. So if you want to connect through there, I'm always available. And my website is probably like the best place. It's just kind of the home base. So you can definitely subscribe to my newsletter. I send out weekly updates with a bunch of personal branding wisdom just in that newsletter alone.
Your newsletter is fantastic, by the way.
Thank you. Really I have a lot of fun putting those together, and I put a lot of love into them. So there's some good
stuff. Yeah, you can see that. Okay, so we'll have all the links in the show notes. You can connect to there very easily. But I want to leave you with one question. Okay. Leave our listeners with one question and for you to think about here. If you had one last meal, like the thing that you love the most.
Okay, I know it already.
What would it be?
Okay, so I lived in Florence, Italy for a year. And by far, the best meal I've ever had was just a plain margarita pizza with a glass of red wine.
Oh, and I know what you're talking about. Pizza in Italy is a very different experience.
Yes. And if that was going to be my last meal, I would die a happy girl. I really
I love it. Oh, buon appetito to everybody on that note. Thank you, Anna, for being here with us and sharing your wisdom. And guys, make sure you check her out and follow her. I've learned so much just in the brief time that we've known each other, and just seeing how she portrays herself online and her bits of wisdom in her newsletter, invaluable content. So again, thank you, Anna. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Maria.
Hey, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. I know you have a lot of choices out there of what to listen to, what to watch, so it means a lot to me that you're here with me. And hey, if you love this content, would you hit the subscribe button? I want you around. I don't want you to just show up for one episode and leave. I want you here, part of the conversation, a seat at this table. And while you're at it, would you share this with your friends and family? And if you take a screenshot and share it on your social media with a hashtag RFYBL for Recipes for Your Best Life, I'll make sure to personally give you a shout out, and you may just be featured right here on the show. So until next time, here's to living deliciously and being the chef of your best life.